All right, we are back in the kitchen. We are with Dan Kohler, and he's going to share us a secret to, is it rock, paper, scissors? Wait, what are we doing? Rock?
We're not doing paper candy. We're not doing scissor candy. We are doing
rock candy. That's what it is. I knew it had something to do with rock in there.
This is really good.
So,
what's the history of this rock candy?
all right, a lot of you know rock candy as these bright.
Yeah.
Right? I just ruined something. I'm ruining everything. So most of us know rock candy as these really brightly colored sticks of flavored sugar crystals. But actually, rock candy started being used as a way to sweeten tea. So I'm going to pour you all some tea. You've got some tea glasses in front of you.
In some places they still do that.
Indeed. So we use this in tea ceremonies, and it starts in the 9th century in Iran and in China.
Oh, it didn't start in England.
I thought
we
for sure it
drink
was
lots of tea.
Sorry, love.
And it continues. It continues around. We even have a lot of tea ceremonies in Germany today that still use this. Now, the reason you would do this instead of a spoonful of granulated sugar is that slowly these lumps of sugar, these rocks, will melt over multiple glasses of tea, so you don't have to keep adding things to it.
Oh, I don't have to wait till it melts.
So civilized.
Indeed. So it's actually exactly the same thing as granulated sugar. It's just a different form. So it's not a different kind of sugar.
Gotcha.
Sure.
Now, how do we make something like this, right? Because you can see here, I've got kind of an array of jars.
So you're making your own rock candy.
We're going to make our own rock candy.
But
We're going to
flavors,
explore
right?
different flavors. We're going to explore two different scientific qualities here. We're going to talk about supersaturation, and then we're going to talk about crystallization. Supersaturation is the state of a solution in which more of a substance has been dissolved than could normally be dissolved under regular circumstances. So everyone think about this real quick. So we've got some going on right now. If you took a cup of water and 3 cups of sugar and mixed that at home, you would not be able, you would have sandy, wet, right?
Yeah.
But with the addition of heat, we can create a prison for that much sugar. So when we're heating things up, which we've got here,
Right.
with the addition of heat, we can actually dissolve 3 cups of water in 1 cup of sugar.
Hold on, 3 cups of sugar in
3 cups of sugar in 1 cup of water. Thank you for correcting me there.
And that's just regular granulated sugar.
Regular granulated sugar. So this is what's called supersaturation. Now what happens as the solution cools,
You have to do it slowly like that.
you have to do it
Very
slowly.
good at that.
Now, as the solution cools, slowly those crystals are going to come back out of solution. They have to go somewhere.
Right.
And that's what we talk about crystallization. Now, you want to give these crystals a place to form, so we give them nucleation points. A nucleation point is a suggestion of where the crystal should set up.
And
Now,
like
we
a
know-
stick.
A stick is a great place to start. So what I like to think of, crystals are very geometric. If we look at these sticks, right, we can see, you actually can see
it's really
how a crystal
cool.
forms. So imagine you had a bucket full of tennis balls, okay? And you had sort of a square laid out on the table, and you were pouring those tennis balls into the square. Well, they're actually going to set up in a very geometric pattern, right? First, you fill it up with a bunch of, the first layer's full. Now, as they fill in, they actually go into the gaps. That's how you get sugar crystals. They want to glom onto each other in these geometric shapes. They're going to fall and stack in a very regular place.
Like a stalagmite or a stalactite.
Sort of.
What makes them grab onto the stick instead of to the side of the jar or anywhere?
That's a brilliant question. So the way we give them nucleation points is this. I've dipped some sticks in water and I coat them in sugar and we let that dry. So these tiny granules of
With
sugar
more
actually
sugar.
suggest to the liquid sugar how it should set up. So let me show you how.
So basically say, hey, the party's over here.
Hey, the party's over here. So here's how we're doing it. I like this man. So very slowly, I'm going to dissolve 3 cups of sugar into 1 cup of water. And I want you to pay attention. I'm going very slowly here because what we want to do is avoid caramelization. We're not going for a dark color here. We're actually just going for saturation.
This ain't no brown Jamaican chicken.
So you got to put it on low heat too.
Low heat. Water boils at 212 degrees, and that's actually the perfect temperature to slowly dissolve this sugar. Tanya.
So one thing I've noticed is that these crystallized pieces are much larger than the granulated sugar. How do
Indeed.
they grow?
Indeed.
How
well,
do they grow?
what happens is once we have the solution that's hot, we take it
So
off the heat.
when you say hot, it's boiling.
It's boiling very gently, and then we're just going to pour it into a jar.
That was all 1 cup of water
1 cup of water.
with the sugar
With the
added.
3 cups of sugar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Debbie.
More tea.
More tea.
It's so good.
And it's already
quite lovely.
Yeah.
You know, it always tastes better with these in it.
Always.
So we fill up the jar, and then while that's cooling, all we have to do is take 1 skewer, dip it in some water, get it nice and wet, and then dip it in extra sugar.
Tea, darling.
Okay?
Please, Mark.
Right, thank you very much.
These are your nucleation
There you
points.
go.
Now I set them in
Thank you.
Croissant of
clothespin,
Danish
let that
love.
dry, and I've got some that are dry over here. Now all we have to do is dip that
dip it in.
And
Let
you'll
it sit.
see over the course of 7 days, these crystals slowly glom on. We've got.
So is there different days here?
So here, this is day 2.
That's day 2.
See right here,
Oh,
day 2.
wow.
Just got tiny crystals forming. Now it goes all the way up to day 7.
Wow.
Now when you're at day 7, here's what we're going to do to unmold it.
Incredible.
That's enormous.
It is.
All right.
Wait,
we-
you say unmold? Oh, unmold.
Yes, because we're gonna-
not
there's-
like it's moldy, but you're
Nope.
taking it out of
So
a
there's a
mold.
little, there's a shell at the top. We just break it, pull the crystal out.
Wow.
Now all you have to do is let it dry. It'll dry in a couple of hours. Now I just dry it in a plain jar, let it drip upside down.
This is an amazing project for kids.
It's
such an amazing science
And
project.
this is what it'll look like. It's
So this is what
exactly
they can do in their time instead of being on all those electronic
Seriously?
devices.
exactly.
Yeah.
When your kids
Okay.
are on an electronic break,
be doing things like
bring them into the kitchen, teach them some science, show them how things are working.
But Ava's
Yeah,
gonna
but-
eat
So
all
how
the
do we
giving them a bunch of
how does
sugar,
it
how
get the
can we-
color?
How does it get the color?
Yeah.
Ah, good question. Now all you have to do, in the bottom of a jar, add 1 or 2 drops of food coloring.
By the way,
do not
my
need
kids,
a lot.
if they have to wait 7 days, they can't even wait 2 minutes.
Exactly.
Very good. It's a very good lesson in patience
It is
also.
a lesson in patience.
Now if we fill up this jar with the
You're
color.
really into it, aren't you?
See, all you needed was a couple of drops. And that's also a good time to add flavoring. So you can add vanilla, you can add lemon, you can add lime. I think you've all got some flavors there. And again, it's the same process. You're just going to lower this in and let
That
the
take
sugar
another
crystals
7
glom
days?
on.
How long?
Yes, we're looking at 7. Now look,
7
you
days.
can unmold. I'll unmold one of these crystals that's been going just 2 days.
While he's knocking that out, I'm going to tell you, you can go to our Pinterest page, and we'll leave that there
That's 2 days.
for
Still
you,
totally
all
nice.
of the steps for this.
Oh, 2 days is good
That's
enough.
2
So you don't
days
have to
it
wait
is.
7 days.
RenegadeKitchen.com is also a place that you can go. Dan will be there waiting with some fabulous stuff. We're going to wait for you to come back because we have our pet adoption that you don't want to miss.